Congratulations, your BP Business Solutions MasterCard application has been approved. So if you're looking for ways to boost your business credit, you may want to consider the BP Business Solutions MasterCard. And if you want to know how I got approved for a credit limit of $9,500, you probably want to continue watching this video. Because in this video, I would like to share some tips and tricks that I did on my application in order to get approved for this credit limit of $9,500, and also how this card can help boost your business credit. So first and foremost, what I like to always share before actually diving into a business credit application is to always know where your business credit currently stands. And the best way to get started on knowing your business credit history is to create a nav.com account. And once you create your nav.com account, and if you don't have credit history, you probably want to develop your credit history before actually getting started. So if you have a nav.com account, or if you just created one and you don't have credit history, you probably want to consider their upgraded plans that will help you boost your credit on a monthly basis. If you currently have history on your business credit, then your chances of getting approved for business credit is much higher. With all that being said, let's actually jump into this application. Okay, so I have the BP Business Solutions application pulled up on my tablet here. And you can see what it tells us when we first open up the application. I'll also try to link the application in the description box, so don't worry about trying to find the website. But before we actually go into the exact application, let's first identify some benefits of owning this card. And I'll just quickly read this line here for card benefits. With BP and MasterCard in your pocket, your fleet can find gasoline virtually anywhere in the US, and you can customize reports for a complete fuel management solution. So let's go through these check marks. The first one, you can save up to 7% with volume-based rebates. Next, we can see that you can create and organize reports by exception, driver, vehicle, MPG, and more. Another benefit would be that you will be able to monitor after-hour purchases and daily transactions. You can also use card prompts to help prevent misuse. You also don't need to collect receipts or reimbursements. And lastly, you can fuel up at the specific gas locations or anywhere that MasterCard is accepted. And just to keep in mind, because this is a MasterCard, you can pretty much use this card anywhere that MasterCard is accepted. And it doesn't have to be for specifically gasoline. So let's actually click on the application part. So when you click on application, this pulls up. You can see that it says, let's start with your contact information. So first, you'll put in your first name. You'll put in your last name. You'll put in your business zip code. You'll also put in your business name. It says email, so I would suggest putting in your business email. It also says mobile, or phone type. You can see that it says phone type, but you can select mobile, business, or other. In my opinion, if you have a business number, whether it is a mobile number or not, make sure you select business and also put in your business number and how many vehicles in your fleet. Now, so when I filled out the application, I specified according to my Turo fleet. Now, how many ever vehicles that you have or that you plan on using, whether if you have a Turo business or not, make sure you specify specifically how many cars are in your fleet. Just keep in mind, though, it does have to be at least one because it is a gas card. They're not just giving cars to anybody. They're giving cards to individuals who have an actual car or fleet. Also, here at the bottom, it says, I am an authorized officer of the business. Make sure you select that, right? And just to give you a better idea, it says you must be an authorized officer with significant management responsibilities such as president, CEO, CFO, treasurer, etc., etc., etc. So keep in mind that when applying for this card, you must be an authorized user. You can't fill out this application for a business that you don't have no authority of. But because we're watching this video, I'm assuming that you guys are applying on behalf of your own business. So we shouldn't have nothing to worry about here. And the checkbox right below that is pre-selected for us, it says, I like to receive email communication. And that's specific to you. Now, as far as what is that specifically, it doesn't say promotions. So it's pretty much specifying if you would prefer to be emailed instead of called or any other things like that. So if you want that selected there, then make sure you keep that selected. Okay, so when you click continue from the previous page, it will go on to the next page in order to continue the application. If you can see that some of my information is already populated in here, that's because I filled it out in the previous page. So whatever information you filled out on the previous page will populate in the next page. So as you can see, this is my business here, DIY Credit Boost LLC. Also, you need to put in your federal tax ID. So pretty much your EIN number. Make sure you specify or input your EIN number here. Here's my business address. I'll leave the business suite blank for the purpose of this video, but you can see I operate in Nevada, etc., etc. But all this information here should be specific to you in your application. And you can also see my business number here. Also, there's a checkbox right below this information. It says use business address as billing address, right? So this will probably automatically be checked for you. Now, if you don't want to use your business address as your billing address, just make sure you keep that in mind as far as unchecking it so that it can populate and you put in the correct billing address for this application. Now, you can see that it says type of business, right? What type of business is it? Is it an LLC? Is it, a closed corporation, education, etc., etc.? Just make sure you specify what type of business it is. How many drivers do you have, right? Now, keep in mind this application is specific to pretty much like truck drivers and things like that. So it tries to ask you how many drivers that you may have. For the purpose of this, I'm gonna put myself. It says estimated monthly fuel spending. So make sure you specify. They just like I say, if you watch any of my previous videos, you got to keep in mind that they want to provide credit to individuals who actually use their cards, right? So make sure you be logical as well as generous as far as how much you plan on spending. But for the purpose of this video, I'll say that I'll spend somewhere around let's say 1,500. Actually, let me do like 2,500 a month of spending on fuel. Also, let's put statement. Obviously, if you like to be paperless, then make sure you choose the paperless selection here. Billing email address. Make sure you put in your in my opinion, put in your business information, right? So I have specific emails for specific parts of my business. So I'll put that in right now. How many years in the business, right? So make sure you specify. Keep in mind the ease of an application approval is a lot of times based off the number of years in business as well. My business is 4, but be honest to the best of your ability because you never know, they might ask you to approve that, right? Annual business revenue. So now, for the purpose of this business, I'm gonna specify a number. But like I said again, you also need to be honest as far as what your business is generating, right? So for educational purpose, let's put 150K. Now keep in mind for the successful application approval, you do need to be generating some type of revenue. And also you do need to be generating some type of profit. Now, in this case, they're just asking for revenue. They're not asking for profit in this case. So you do need to make sure you be specific as far as how much you're generating. And even if you just starting out or whatever the case may be, try to predict what your revenue may be, right? Try to predict that in some way or some form. So on the next page of the application, it pretty much wants to know the personal information of the business owner. So make sure you fill out all the appropriate information that you see here. And then you can see here at the bottom, this person owns 100% of the company. So keep in mind, it only gives you the option of 100%, mainly because they want to approve business owners who are single owners or have 100% ownership of their business. So once you put in all this information, you can see that it says process my application. Now, once you process your application, there's a few things that can happen here. The first thing, in most cases, it will say, we have received your application. We'll be in contact for any other additional information. So pretty much if you receive that prompt there, you pretty much have to wait for further communication to see what your application approval process is. Or you can pretty much look up the contact phone number for BP's business credit department to see the status of your application. But in a lot of cases, if you receive that prompt where it says we'll be in contact, it was probably something within the application that you have put that does not give an immediate approval. In some cases, it can be, you know, whatever the case may be, as far as maybe they want to verify your income. Maybe they want to verify, you know, some business information that you may have put in on the application. So that's why I say it's very important to be as accurate as possible as you can, because in some cases, the information processed on your application can be pulled from your credit reports. And sometimes, even if you don't have a credit history, sometimes it may have gave you that prompt to wait to be contacted. Now, if in a lot of cases, most individuals who have credit history have some type of business credit on file, it'll automatically give them an instant approval, and they specify how much they got approved for. Now, for my purpose, and when I've submitted the application, it gave me an instant approval. It says, congratulations, we approved you for $9,500. And then they sent me an email, and within that email, the first email, it said, you've been approved. And they're processing my account number and things like that. And then the next email says, be prepared to be contacted by a specific individual, and that specific individual pretty much will call you to verify how many cars you actually need. How many vehicles you put on your application, it will pretty much need to confirm that, right? So that individual will call you and say, congratulations, you've been approved. We've seen that you put this many vehicles on your fleet. Would you like that many cards for them to mail you out? In my case, I had 5 fleet cards. I specified 5, so I pretty much told her I just wanted 1 card for all my fleet since I'm operating under Turo. In that case, they mailed out the cards and things like that. Now, don't be discouraged if you do get that first prompt. In a lot of cases, they just need to talk to you to verify a couple of informations. Otherwise, once they contact you, they'll tell you right off the bat you haven't got approved. That pretty much sums up the video for today. I hope you guys found the information of this video interesting enough to give it a like. I hope you found me interesting enough to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I hope you guys tap into the YouTube channel to find some interesting videos, because I do have a lot of content related to business as well as personal credit that can be very useful to you. Otherwise, you may want to watch this video that you see here because YouTube suggested this one to you, and specifically to you, so you may be able to find that video useful as well. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.